So, Adrian, I mean, a classic book, fourth
Yeah,
edition.
yeah.
It's a book you and I know very well, and what a delight to have Desmond on the podcast. Well, give me a couple of your big takeaways.
Well, just this idea of seeing ourselves clearly as well as seeing others. That self-deception hurts our growth. And sometimes we don't realize the impact we have on others. I mean, I've had, people 20 years ago say, "Oh, you were my best manager," and I've also had people who kind of said, "Yeah, we never really clicked, did we?" and uh, and so we don't really realize the impact we have on each other. But I loved his kind of idea about, the football team, for example, and how often do we do that where we kind of assume people are a certain way when we're really not seeing them clearly? Very powerful.
Yeah, along that line, it was shades of people. We see
Yeah,
people in
yeah,
shades. We don't see the whole person. I thought that was really interesting that we look at them as objects, people
yeah,
that get things done for us. And as long as
yeah.
they're doing things that we want them to do, we think they're pretty great. That was a big takeaway for me.
It really was. And, if I don't see you, I can't bring out the best in you. That idea, we say in our trainings, we say, find their stories. And this is even bigger. It's the idea of, yeah, who is the whole person here? Because what we're looking for is this idea of psychological safety. And he's stretching that for us because we have always said, look, that means that you have a voice and you speak up and you're not afraid. But he's also saying psychological safety is the ability to take interpersonal risks that I'll bring you in and I'll be a little bit more vulnerable. I mean, what a powerful thought.
Yeah. I'll tell you the other thing that really jumped out to me was his experience with inmates and the
Yeah,
prison system. And he says, if we don't see them as people, we see them as inmates, that
yeah,
people can't change. We've got to change that whole perspective, that it is a chance for a reset, that people can change. In fact, people change all the time. But we've got it in our heads. Once you've gone to prison, game over, And
yeah.
just recently having had that experience really rang home to me. I have to tell you, though, his wrap up when he
Hmm.
said,
Yeah,
I'm a broken person.
yeah,
And my mental health exercise is to be comfortable with the fact that I am not okay, that
yeah,
I'm going to be sad, I'm going to cry, and things aren't going to go well. And I'm okay with that. That was
yeah.
huge.
It really was. I mean, that was so powerful. I put a big exclamation by that too, because we're all broken vessels. As you said, the masterpiece is in the mess, and we're all messes, and we just don't want to admit it to anybody. We don't want to show our failings or vulnerabilities. But as leaders, what we found is the days of Superman, Superwoman are long gone. I don't need my manager to be that way anymore. I need them to be human, to admit when they've made mistakes, to admit when, yeah, they've been a little fallible themselves or been stressed or anxious. And he says, when I then get emotionally elevated, they're still treating me like a person who's just having a bad day versus, somebody who's off the rails, etc.
Yeah. My last thing is his admonition to say, hey, you matter.
Yeah,
Don't forget the fact that you matter. See other people's humanity. It can get complicated. And see your own humanity. And that this is a new time. You can become that new person and make that change. Well, I'll let you wrap it up before we
yeah.
close things down. But do you have one last thing that really
Just the
impacted you?
last thing I scribbled down was that, and I'm paraphrasing Desmond here, but yeah, this perfect image of ourselves that people see on Instagram and Facebook or wherever you go is a lie. We're all infallible. We're all fallible. We're all broken vessels. But accept that we're okay. You're okay as who you are, and and you are enough. And you know who's enough too, Chess, is our producer, Brent Klein, and our
He
amazing
is.
booker. Yeah, and he is. And so is our amazing booker, Christy Lawrence, who helps us find such amazing guests. And all of you who listened in are amazing and enough as well. If you like the podcast, share it. We'd also love you to visit thecultureworks.com for free resources to help you and your team thrive.
Yeah, we love speaking to audiences all around the world, virtually or in person, on topics of culture, teamwork, resilience. Give us a call. We'd like to talk to you about your event. And of course, feel free to pick up a copy of our best-selling book, Anxiety at Work, available on Audible, lit video, digital, and at fine bookstores everywhere. And of
It's
course,
a heck of a book.
Amazon.com. It is. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Adrian, as always, I'll give you the last word.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.